Excited to join us this morning.
James is always here.
Good morning, Molly. Good morning, champions. Hope you're having a fantastic Thursday morning. And for those of you getting up, getting ready to hit the phones and have a successful day, it's a friendly reminder that although what was it, Geico made Hump Day very famous, we're not even halfway through the week yet, right? So you've had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We've still got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with which to accomplish our goals. So for those that aren't at their 30 hours yet or aren't at their 5K, 7,500, 10K, 15K, 20K goals, still got plenty of time to accomplish those. If you're joining us for the very first time, you may not even understand what I'm talking about, but that's okay. Hang out here with us and get back in touch with the person that invited you here. Hope you like what you see. If you are in the onboarding process and you have not officially finished everything yet, then as much as you want to hang out here with us, head over to the onboarding and licensing breakout room. And I'd go ahead and head over there right now. Our home office team is there to assist you every step of the way. But if you're in SL Sales Academy, you're in the right place. Hang out here with us as we review the day that was. And we are having a consistent week, which is no shock with President's Challenge. And there's some Ultimate Challenge stuff happening there, Rory. I'm sure you're paying attention to that too. So you've got the double whammy of President's Challenge, Ultimate Challenge, all kinds of stuff that we are working towards, but none of that would be possible without our awesome teams. So we got some team numbers to review. So let's shout out our awesome teams and the days that they had yesterday. And we begin with the MMC More Money crew. They are small but mighty. We're dropping 2,492 AP on the day yesterday. Way to go, MMC. Then we had the
Come
HOD,
here.
O's House of Diamonds. And the House of Diamonds came in with 12,125 AP. Way to go, HOD.
Nice work, HOD.
All right.
Then we had those banksters. They know no limits.
Bang, bang.
15,682 AP. Fantastic job,
You froze,
banksters.
James. He done froze.
And then we had two. It was close. It was close as we continue to have a fantastic week, but with another, I mean, it's a record when we talk about top 10 days. Another record day for the ROS Region of Steel.
Yes,
30,
Yeah, let's go,
Yes,
Region.
man.
Go,
660
Region.
AP for the ROS.
Eric says that was the third best day ever, James.
I was in my brain. I couldn't remember if it was third or fourth.
Yes.
But Eric doesn't forget. So way to go. Third best day ever is worth celebrating. Although I know Eric wants to have the best day
Couldn't
ever.
hear the amount.
Great
I
job.
couldn't hear the amount for ROS.
34,660 AP for
Thank you. Great job, Eric.
Region
Thank you, thank you.
Steel.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there can only be one champion on the team day, coming in with 37,452 AP. Make some noise for those wild cards.
Let's
Wild
cards. Let's go.
Wild cards. What y'all doing?
Fantastic job, all. And if you were listening to this, you were on one of the teams. That's what we celebrate, team production. Why? Because that means that you are having success. But in order for you to have success, you got to put the activity in. And the reason I review Talk Time every single day, if I had time, I'd even break down the dials, the redials, the triple dials, the leads work, the disposition codes. If you don't break down your own numbers, friendly reminder, if you go to SLS Connects, you can see a summary. It will show you your disposition codes, all that stuff. And when you're in the moment, it's very hard to remember all of that stuff. And so sometimes you can get discouraged on yourself or you can get overexcited on a good day. So it's good to go review your numbers. It's all there in SLS Connects. We put them all there. Why? Because we love numbers. You should love numbers too. The numbers never lie. And if you got your talk time yesterday, shout out to you. If you were on target for 30 hours based on what you're able to do this week, if you're working through Saturday, through Sunday, through Friday, whatever it is, if you're taking Friday off, working Saturday, some of you might be doing that with the holiday. I don't know, but you have to be able to tell yourself, I have earned this. So have you earned it so far this week? Are you on target for that? If so, give yourselves a pat on the back. If you are over 5 hours, 5 hours should be your floor every single day. But we can always shout out the top performers in the talk time category. Some of you got there working 38 leads yesterday, and some of you got there working 201. So I tell you that so that you see both sides of it. Sometimes the very first person you call answer. Sometimes it takes 150 leads to get there. Now, we always want you to be on the other side, but the joker's always in the deck. So flip all the cards over every single day till you get there. So now you know the spread with which these top folks had yesterday. We begin with Omari McClendon, who he can keep people on the phone. I'm just telling y'all. 6 hours, 36 minutes for Omari. Great job, Omari. Then we had France Mason having another strong day. 6 hours, 39 minutes. Fantastic day for France. Then we had Rashad Elliott coming in with 6 hours and 57 minutes. Way to go, Rashad.
Good job.
Anita McKinney takes us to 7 hours. I can't track every record, Roy, but 7 folks over 7 hours is an impressive stat, to say the least. Very, very impressive there. And Anita McKinney was the first one over 7 hours with 7 hours on the dot. Way to go, Anita. James Witty Gritty. I always want to say my last name. I'll never stop wanting to say that.
Ready one.
But he dropped 7 hours, 4 minutes on an efficient day as well. Way to
Great
go.
job, Witty Gritty.
Keeping people on the phone. Lynette Allen came in with 7 hours, 7 minutes. Lynette's on a mission. Way to go, Lynette. Then we had, you know her, you love her, you hear from her. She's always got her talk time. Monica Henderson, 7 hours, 13 minutes.
All right,
Good
Monica.
job, Monica.
I know Monica's big day's coming. I think it's going to be today. Mallory Barnes, 7 hours, 22 minutes. Mallory, that was a very impressive.
Good job, Mallory.
Way to go.
Mallory. The Energizer Bunny is going to get people on the phone no matter what it takes. And Chris Reese did that yesterday, no doubt. 7 hours, 32 minutes for Chris Reese.
Great job, Chris. Go for that monkey.
But 8 minutes made the difference. There can only be one talk time champion with 7 hours and 40 minutes. She was dialing her heart out, making it happen. Make some noise for Elizabeth Metzi. Fantastic.
All right, Elizabeth.
Good job, Liz.
Great job, Liz.
On Elizabeth.
Then we move to the AP category. Man, the spotlight. I'm just looking at myself. Anyways, sorry, you guys got to look at me and hear my voice. But we got AP to shout out. That's what we're all here to do. So if you got your talk time, fantastic. If you had a sale of any size, congratulations if it was coupled with the talk time. But for the select few of you, you do something that we love called the SAD Club. Because you're anything but sad. SAD, string in a day. And we begin with, he was anything but sly yesterday. Sylvester K dropping 2,797 AP, over 4,100 for the week. Way to
Nice work,
go.
Sly.
Let's go,
Way
Sly.
to kick off.
Great job, Sly.
Then we move. April start date. We had a lot of Mays yesterday, but we have some Aprils saying, don't forget about us. We've only been here a couple months. Archibald Allen, 2,922 AP. And guess what, Roy? This training must work because they listen. 100% of that e-check Social Security billing. Folks, I promise you, not only do you get paid more when you do it,
Archie.
the client has a better chance of keeping it. That's what we want because we
Let's
want it
go.
to be there.
Great job,
Hey, they
Archie.
need it most. Way to go, Archibald. Then we had back-to-back May start dates, or April start dates. Excuse me, April 21st for Mercedes Watson, 3,460
Mercedes.
for
Go,
Mercedes. Over
Good job,
5,200
Mercedes.
for the week. Let's go, Mercedes. Fantastic job. Then we move to Alicia Wald coming in with 3,877 AP, making it a
Let's go, Alley
fantastic
Cat.
Wednesday. Alley Cat
Good job.
making it.
Great job, Alec.
Then we had quite a few folks over 4,000 strong days. Now we come back to the May folks. I had it stuck in my head there. May 29th to be exact. So just a couple weeks. Jonathan Cannon having a week. 5
Cannon.
hours talk
Good
time.
job.
4,453 AP on the day. 7,700 AP on the week. 78%.
Let's go, Don.
Great
Well
job.
done.
Crown for John Cannon.
Woo!
When
Newbie.
did he start?
Yeah.
When did he start,
Like
James?
last week.
May 29th is the FISAP date. But yeah, I mean, that means the first day on the phones was what, last week, Eric?
Last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big
And he
week.
was grinding till late.
Yep. He's a worker, Roy.
Keep
No
an eye
doubt
on him,
there.
Eric.
Why? Because he's already over 15 hours for the week in his first full week. So
Well,
fantastic job. Then we move to somebody who's no stranger to consistency. She even introduced me this morning. Molly Jones dropping 4,856 AP on the day. And that just all of a sudden catapults Molly right up to 5,400 AP week to date. It's President's Challenge week, so I wasn't betting against Molly. We knew that 10K
Good
was
job,
coming.
Molly.
Way to go, Molly. Now she's over 5K. That is what consistency does. 16 hours week to date. Yesterday drops almost 5K. All of a sudden, right back in it. Way to go, Molly. Then you heard from her yesterday. She backed it up with another consistent day. India facing with 6 hours of talk time, 4,892 AP, and just like that,
Spacing.
India who said I had a slow Monday, so I needed to pick it up Tuesday, Wednesday, just like that. Boom, 13,459 AP on the
Good
week.
job.
82%
India.
of the 13.5 is e-check Social Security billing. That's a triple crown on the
Good
day.
job.
And already gonna be a
Yes.
triple crown for the week. Way to go.
James, if I'm not mistaken, that's India's third or fourth week in a row now over 10,000. She's
Woo.
making a late move here.
Let's go.
That's why I tell y'all it's a marathon, not a sprint when it comes to Ultimate Challenge. So you're going to watch India. She probably didn't want you to say that, Roy. She's shooting up the leaderboard there, trying to move in
No.
stealth.
She was sneaking.
Trying to get there.
Quietly sneaking, James. I know that. I'm sorry, India.
But then we jump back to May. We got a May 1st FISAP date for Heather McMichael. All of a sudden, 5,163 AP on
Go, Heather.
Go, Heather.
way to
Go,
That's me.
Heather.
That's me.
Woo.
way to go. Another one putting in the activity, making it happen. And then these April, May folks, I'm telling you what, May 12th is the official date. So not even probably a month on the phone. You heard it yesterday. You're hearing it again today. Rohi Sano with 5.5 hours,
Whoa.
5,867
Yeah, let's go.
on
Let's go,
the
Ro.
day. And here we go,
Let's
folks,
go,
because it's
Rohi.
President's Challenge, 10,150
Yeah.
week.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Go,
That's
Ro.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I know Eric already
Big
knows this.
dog.
How much of that 10,000 is e-check Social Security billing?
100%.
Oh,
One.
yes.
Percent.
Yeah.
So not only are we going for the President's Challenge bonus, but we're making quite a impressive check for next week. That's how you make it happen, folks. Any questions?
James, I know he's 10,000 through 3 days. He just started in May.
10,000 through 3 days. You want to know how that happens?
Well, it's good.
18 hours of talk
Wow.
time.
That boy good.
Yes.
Already.
Romeo.
Making it happen.
Bro.
That's how you do it. Speaking of making it happen, also no stranger to a President's Challenge. Also, I would imagine trying to sneakily make some moves in Ultimate Challenge. The Energizer Bunny had 7.5 hours yesterday. 6,524 AP on the day, and then boom, just like
Chris.
that, 13,600 AP.
She not
week
playing.
to date.
Let's
For
go.
She not
Great
playing.
job, Chris.
Way to go, Chris. Fantastic day. But, ladies and gents, there can only be one champion. He's been here since 2009, Rory. But this year's version of him, he's trying to get in better shape. He's trying to juggle being a dad, but he's also trying to stealthily make moves in Ultimate Challenge. So I'm throwing him
Ring the
out there.
bell.
Again,
Yeah.
ring the bell for Josh Bell. 6,636 AP on the day. And listen to this, folks. Week to date, Josh just like that. 16,500
Great
AP.
job.
Week
Josh.
two.
Go,
Josh
Bell. Yeah.
73%
Awesome.
of his 16,000 is e-check Social Security billing. Some of y'all can't get 73% on 2,000. He's got it on 16,000. Make it happen. Make
I
some
don't.
noise
I
for
don't
that.
think Josh is here this morning, James. He's being so stealth. He figures, but if he doesn't show up, nobody will see his move.
So what Josh tells me is because he's working so hard, he tries to do a little bit of the breakfast routine for the boys to give his wife a little bit more off. Because then he comes into this office and he is making it happen. He is a man on a mission. But I will say this for Josh, and then Chris would love to hear from you. I happen to talk to Josh on a regular basis. We know each other for a long time, and I want to. I use Josh as an example a lot, and so I'm going to do it for the national call here. You guys hear the expression, like if you start a new hobby, for instance, right? Like you're trying to learn Spanish, or you're trying to get in shape.
Look at you.
Watch those mute buttons there. But what I use Josh as the example for is I was here. Grant and I trained Josh, in fact. Josh's first day, Josh's first week, Josh's first month, Josh's first year. And if you ever get a chance to talk to Josh, many of y'all have in Orlando, many of y'all will in Mexico. Josh's first year was not what you're hearing, right? Josh's first month was not what you're hearing. Josh was at the time, was just trying to rebuild his life and his career and all this stuff. And he was in debt and he had a lot of stuff to do. And he put in massive amounts of work, massive amounts of activity, massive amounts of things to improve himself. He didn't used to have good quality. He worked on that. He didn't used to have string. He worked on that. And so sometimes we get in the habit of comparing. I hear people say, well, if I could only be like this person. Do not compare your day one to somebody's year. Josh is year 8? And so it's that reminder that if you want to be like some of these vets you hear who can just turn it on magically, you've got to be able to put the activity in. And that activity that you hear people that are in the May start dates, the April start dates, the ones that are putting in massive activity, that's how you build to that, because then you get a pipeline. And Josh is a master at getting referrals and a master at having the appointments and the follow-ups, and his clients end up calling him and asking for additional coverage. So you are building a business, right? It's just like if you open a brand new restaurant, you start to get return customers, and then customers that, how many people Rory has told to go to Vincent's. If you've ever been to Vero, he's been going to Vincent's for 40 something years. And he tells everybody, best pizza in town, you got to go here, ask for this person, do all this stuff. That's what it takes when you're building a business. So I just wanted to, since Josh isn't here this morning, shout him out for that, because to do a 16,000 a week as effortlessly as you all think he's doing it, it took a lot of hard work. And there's a lot of vets that do it. When you talk about all the vets that are here that are able to do it. So if you are in your first week, month, year, understand that and understand what you're building. So I just wanted to give Josh a shout out there. And then Chris, if you don't mind, they can hear it from you, who I feel like Chris is in that boat, but really Chris just celebrated her 2-year anniversary. And so not quite the same vet there, but Chris, if you could share a little bit about your day and your week so far.
Yeah, so my week is chasing Josh, to be honest with you. I mean, when I met him, he's so humble and just was amazing. We're all one big happy family. So when I got above him yesterday, I was like, oh yes. And then, yeah, all of a sudden he's way above me. But I just have been working on my lost business and FISAPs and shifted my schedule to where I'm focusing on certain things during the day only. And then just getting some calls. And so I was able to help somebody that needed it, wanted it, and was kind of on the fence, but she knows that she wants to make sure her son doesn't have to pay for it. And so it's really rewarding to do that. And yes, I am chasing Josh. So hopefully I can catch him today. It's my goal. I mean, I was 100 below him and I was like, what? But I know Josh, he's He's amazing. And I love that when you go to these conventions, honestly, what feeds me and when I see people like Josh doing so well, they give the tips. They help. We're all one big happy family, and that no matter what team you on in person, I love it. It just helps focus me and helps me to be better. So, yes.
Absolutely. Make some noise for Chris Reese.
Chris.
Great
All right,
job.
Chris.
Don't
Dang,
go
yeah,
For that
right.
monkey
Good job, Chris.
money.
Woohoo!
That doesn't motivate you between Josh and Chris and then hearing everybody on the leaderboard. I don't know what will, but every single one of you can be in that category. So just trust the process, plug in, put the activity in, trust your coaches. Don't be too prideful to not use the SBC system, not follow the PEC, and I promise you good things will happen. But we got a lot to cover this morning, so without further ado, take yourselves off of mute and welcome to the stage, Mr. Henry Stewart.
Mr. Henry
All
Stewart,
right,
good morning to
Henry.
you,
Welcome,
Good
Henry.
sir.
morning,
Right, all right, all
We
right, all right.
salute you always for
Morning.
all that you.
Good morning and welcome again. Make some noise if you're excited because today is going to be the biggest day you've ever had in the history of sales.
Let's
Let's
go.
Let's
go.
go. All right, all right, all right.
Definitely.
Interesting. Well, we've got lots of reasons to be successful, some more than others. So, as you heard, we've got some that are in the hunt for the ultimate challenge. We have many that are in the hunt for the President's Challenge. For those that did not enter the President's Challenge, make a note to yourself. Earlier in the week, we were saying it always makes sense to chase the President's Challenge. You can't lose. Some people got in, some people didn't. But now that you're a couple of days into it, it's a good reminder because look at the bump in premium that many people have because they're in the President's Challenge, which means you really can't lose, right? If nothing else, if it makes you work a little bit harder every single day and it helps you make a little bit more money than you were going to make, you can't lose in the President's Challenge. And if you turn around and get your talk time, that's going to get your fee waived. And if you don't get your talk time, but you get your production goals, that's going to waive your fee and put money in your pocket. So we never want to, it's a contest you have to volunteer for. Sometimes we're tempted to just grab somebody and put it in there. This is good for you. But we don't want to do that since it's a voluntary contest. But please remember, think about this week. Next time you have a chance for a President's Challenge, which will be next month, it's always a good time to get into the President's Challenge. It's always really a good time to get into all contests because there's a contest that runs every single week called your commission check. And the more that you sell, especially if you focus on Social Security billing, the more money that you're going to make. So in order to make sales, you have to talk to clients. And in order to talk to clients, you have to cherish the call. Now, we hear this often. When you hear cherish the call, you should think about Kool and the Gang. They had a song called Cherish many, many years ago. See, there's something. So they would say, cherish the love you have. In SLS, you would think to yourself, cherish the call you have. You should cherish the call you have. So what does it mean to cherish a call? Who knows? We hear this term, cherish the call fast and slow down and cherish the call. What does that even mean? Who knows? It's hard to do something if you don't know what it is. We got a hand raised from Bonnie
Most of
Val.
every dial.
Love
Bonnie
the one
Vidal.
you're with.
There you
Hey,
go.
It means
And I'm not even on your team yet.
Nice.
I would say that to cherish the call means to really value the customer at every level, every stage of their life, and be thankful that you have an opportunity to talk with them and that they're willing to talk with you and share a little bit about their life and their family, where they live, their background, and all that stuff. And really just, if anything, just make a new friend and create an alliance and possibly get a referral out of it. But know that that could be your paycheck at the end of the day, at the end of the week, or even a month from now, and it has that ripple effect when you are willing to listen to them and their lives and let them just talk and become part of the SLS family. So to really cherish them is to really embrace them as a human being and know that you're there to care for them and take care of their family and their future needs.
I love that answer. Give it up for Bonnie.
Let's
Yes,
go,
yes,
Bonnie.
yes.
Yeah, Bonnie.
Great
Good
job,
job.
Bonnie. That was beautiful.
All right, Bonnie.
And another voice said it another way. They said, "Love the one you're with," which is also a song. I'm not sure whose voice that was. Was it? Who was that?
You got to watch it, Henry. You're going to have Greg coming off starting to sing these songs.
It was me, and I'm not even on your team yet.
Who's me?
Karen.
Hello, Karen. And Karen
Remember
said
we met the other day?
Oh, Karen Murphy. I know who you are. I just can't see. I'm on a device where I can't see. But I do remember you.
You're still
Karen.
on a cruise ship. That's why.
There you go, Karen. You know all my secrets, Karen. All my secrets. So yes, we've got all of this cherishing that we need to do.
You gotta love the one you're with.
Gotta love the one you're with.
The
So
next
I'm
one
gonna
can wait.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if they're serious, they won't be upset that you're running late.
I agree. So what happens is when we're on the phones, I use the term downshift. So when we're dialing fast, right? Boom, 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 trying to get somebody to pick up the phone. And that's what we should do. Dial with a sense of urgency, because we realize when there's not another voice on the other end of the line, we are unemployed. We don't want to waste time. So we're moving fast. Some of us, though, have difficulty downshifting because we're in that speed mode. Bang, 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 bang. Somebody picks the phone up. It's like, hey, do you want some insurance? No, click. As soon we're working so hard to get that other voice on the other end of the line. Anytime you hear a human voice, you got to downshift and focus on that call. Because many times I will talk to an agent and they'll be frustrated and they'll say, I didn't talk to anybody yesterday. That's what their brain is telling them. Now, what actually happened, when I go through every single call that they made, it's not that they didn't ever hear any other voices on the other end of the line. Many of you are hearing voices on the other end of the line. The reason that your heart feels like you didn't talk to anybody is that when that voice picks up, you talk and they hang up. Or that voice picks up, you talk and they say, I'm not interested. Or that voice picks up and the way you introduce yourself is not the way that we recommend in the PEC, the call doesn't go anywhere. So in your mental Rolodex, you just wipe that call away. It's like it never happened. But it did happen. And some of these people that are hanging up on you because of how you're handling the beginning of the call, they are your sales. It's 2 or 3 sales a day that you're losing that you never even had a chance to have a conversation with them because of how you're handling the beginning of the call. For example, if you are calling and you introduce what's the very first thing that you want to say? According to the PEC, within seconds.
Your name and you're not a
I'm not a
telemarketer.
Not a telemarketer. Many of you skip this very important step because you want to start building rapport and talk about honey child, this and Miss Jones and how you doing and how's the weather. And so some of us are getting hung up on before we even get a chance to say anything else, because the very first thing you need to say is, I am not a telemarketer. Why is it so important to say that before you say any of this other stuff? The other stuff is important. It's just not important to say it first. Why must you get the words, I am not a telemarketer, out of your mouth expeditiously?
Because they get hundreds of telemarketing calls.
They get hundreds of telemarketing
hung up
calls.
on.
Exactly. So there's so all this stuff, you're like, I get this great stuff to say to my client. Hello, Ms. Jones, hello. They're gone. So you have to say, I am not a telemarketer first, because your client's brain has all the natural curiosity of our brains. So if somebody says, hey, listen, I'm not a telemarketer, and then they go on to explain who they are, your brain, your client's brain is going to say, well, if they're not a telemarketer, who are they? Doctor's office, Social Security, IRS, the kids' school. I need to stay on long enough to figure out who is this. So part of the reason that you're not having conversations is you never get a chance to say all the stuff you want to say because you don't freeze your client on the phone. So this is something I recommend you change immediately. You say, Henry, I don't want to change it. I'm a 1099 contractor. I can do what I want to do. Technically, you can. But the problem is, if you do what you want to do and you're broke, you won't be doing what you want to do for long. And then when you don't do what you want to do, because you want to do what you want to do, you end up on a job and you got to do what they tell you to do for less money. So if you're going to take suggestions, why not take suggestions and make $150,000 a year, then take orders for 50? Makes sense. But I digress. So now you're talking to this client and you want to make sure that you say, I'm not a telemarketer as quickly as possible. When you give your agent number, because sometimes if you know why you're doing something, it turns the light bulb on and you'll stop skipping steps. Who knows why you give your agent number? And by the way, your agent number is not your state license number. Your agent number is the number that you receive from SLS to identify. It's like in the customer service world, they would call it an employee number. Since we're not employees, it's your agent number. But why do you give that? Who knows?
Credibility.
Credibility. Max knows.
Let me ask you a question.
One moment though.
Give out.
One moment though. So with questions, the reason I'm not catching you, these folks have their hands up. So then when I see that little virtual hand up, it allows me to call when I want some input. And then sometimes you'll have your hand up and I might skip you only because I'm in the middle of a point, but I know you want to go next. That was Karen again, right?
Yes.
All right. Oh, no problem. Find that virtual hand like Max has his up. Let me grab him because his hand up. I'll come to you next and then we'll move forward. Max.
Yeah, that obviously credibility, validation, and just it gets the client thinking like, what? Wow, this is real. This is and maybe they heard the word agent and they did have that curiosity of what coverage they need. You're gonna spark something with them.
Very good. Max is exactly right. It gives formality and structure to the call. Because think about other institutions that will identify themselves that way, right? So when you start, I'm agent number, so the client starts thinking, okay, not a telemarketer, and this person's willing to openly identify themselves, whoever they are. They don't visualize somebody sitting in their basement making phone calls, even if you happen to be sitting in your basement making phone calls. And they're thinking about other institutions that will introduce themselves that way. So financial institutions, banks will do it. The government will do it. Right? The IRS will do it. So it's like, all right, this is not a telemarketer. And this is somebody, agent number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so now what's going on? This is somebody calling me from the state. What's happening? All you're doing is buying time to force them to listen. Now, after you say, I'm not a telemarketer, after you give structure, formality, and credibility to the call, the client's all ears. Now, if you want to come and say the reason, because that's what they want to know. Well, wise person, the reason for my call is that you are responding to their request for information. I'm not a telemarketer. I'm not a cold caller. I'm getting back to you for something that you had interest in. Sorry it took me so long. A lot of folks have been, we've been very busy helping other people, but I'm here now. That's going to be your best shot when you're making an outbound call. That's going to be your best shot at having a person hear the meat and potatoes of what you want to say. But if you never get there, it doesn't matter. So I highly, highly suggest that you follow what we have figured out over the past 5 decades of trial and error. I highly recommend that you don't take another 5 decades to implement what we already know so that you can start making some more money. Let me save you half a century. How about that? Let me save you half a century of experimentation and just go ahead and tell you, if you follow what's been built in the PEC, you will make more money because you will talk to more people, just like when it comes to live transfers. Many of us, as we shared earlier, we think a live transfer is taking orders. right? We think that we are at an insurance drive-through, and when you get a live transfer, we just handle it like we were at Popeye's Chicken. Hey, how you doing? Thank you for coming to SLS. May I take your order, please? If you are an insurance order taker, you're not going to make a lot of money, because even though Popeye's Chicken is delicious, the people that go to Popeyes, they're in the drive-through. They are there specifically to buy some chicken. They don't need to be sold or convinced. They could have driven to McDonald's or Burger King. They came to Popeyes. They want a 8-piece extra crispy, and they want to get out of there. That is not what a live transfer is. We are not order takers. Okay? We are not order takers. We are people who can cultivate, grow interest. The person that accepts a live transfer is closer to a person walking through a fair, right? They wouldn't come to the fair unless they were interested in whatever that fair is about. But they haven't necessarily made a decision to buy anything at the fair. They're just there because they're interested. And then the people who are at the fair are trying to get them to come over to their particular booth and cultivate that interest. So that's why a live transfer is a little different than the outbound call, which is why what I'm getting ready to tell you right now will help you cherish the call. Now, the live transfer is a little more personality driven. Who knows why? Anybody, I'll tell you.
You have to be persuasive or likable.
You got to be like, right. You want this person to want to talk to you, and there is a shift taking place. So when you make an outbound call, you're the only voice that client has heard. So they're making a decision to buy you or not at the beginning. So yes, you inject, you infuse your personality. You have that formality at the beginning. You infuse your personality. You draw that person in and make them feel like, okay, I'd like to speak with this person in the way that if they were calling the bank, let's just say, and they were trying to get a refund on their insufficient funds fee, and the voice they hear is either going to make them feel like, hey, this person's cool, they might actually give me the refund, or it's going to make them feel like, oh, this person's very by the book, they're not going to do it. So your voice wants to sound like the nice person at the bank. Now, when it comes to live transfers, similar, but even more personality, because now there's a shift. This person's going from being called, someone's on the phone, they're being transferred to you, and you want to hold them during that transition and establish rapport and maintain that relationship. So it really doesn't matter. Like whatever happened prior to you getting on the phone really doesn't matter, because once I have that voice on the line, I'm going to draw them in. So sometimes we obsess, we get overly concerned with what happened prior to that person being on the phone. For instance, we all like to think, because clients like to tell us, that this person just got just shifted over to, in other words, the caller from the call center got somebody on the line and they just said, hold on one second, and sent them over to us. And so we're like, how do I get this person on the phone? They're not even interested. Well, when was the last time that you got a phone call from, I don't know, one of these warranty people? They like to call me. Maybe they like to call you. Hey, I'm calling from whatever auto place about your extended warranty. Please hold. And then I just sit there and I hold. Even if they didn't say anything to me, they're just going to send me over there. When's the last time you allowed yourself to be on hold if you had absolutely no interest in whatever somebody was calling you about? So even if they did that, which they didn't, even if somebody at the call center said, hey, I'm gonna, Cheryl said she did. Yes, that's funny. But anyway, even if the person at the call center said, hey, hold on, and the person just held, and you came over there, it still doesn't matter, right? And even though that's not what's happening, it still doesn't matter, because once I got a voice, which is why I might say something like this. I might say, hello, Mr. Bill, whoever the client is. I know how it is. You're sitting at home, you get a phone call, next thing you know, you're talking to me, What was it that you heard that made you interested in staying on hold for a minute so that we could chat? Now, I don't care what the client says at that point. The client can say they said something about insurance and I wanted to know more about it. The client can say, I don't even know what's going on. I don't know how I got here. I couldn't understand what the guy said. Next thing I know, I'm talking to you. Why don't I care what the client says? Who knows?
Because
Couldn't
you
care
planted the
less.
seed.
I planted the seed, and also they're talking.
And they held on.
A conversation has started. I don't care what they say, right? If I say so, I'm getting a question. Hey, how you doing, Mr. Bill? This is Henry Stewart with SLS agent number. Listen, I know how it is. You're sitting home, you're minding your business. Phone rings. Next thing you know, you're on the phone with our team, and then you end up on the phone with me. What is it that you heard that made you decide to stay on hold for a second so that you and I could chat? I don't care what they say. They're going to say something. They're going to go, I don't know. This good lady called and I didn't understand. I don't care what you say. You're talking. A conversation has started. So now if they say, well, I didn't understand, who was that you were talking to? Was it Bill or Susie? Susie? Sometimes I don't understand Susie either, but don't worry about it. Right? No worries. Sometimes the people I can help the most are the ones that don't know how they got here. Let me explain what I do. Right? First of all, I can only help people that love their family. So before we go any further, do you love your family? Yes. Do you have any grandkids? Yes. Are they cute? Are they cuter than all your other friends? Good. You qualified. Ha ha ha. But now you're, I just want to start a conversation. Right? Get them laughing. Are you married? Yeah. How long you been married? Really? What's the secret? Are you retired? Yeah. Where'd you retire from? What did you do? Did you like it? How long were you there? You think I would have made it as a plumber? I don't know anything about you. Probably not. I got clumsy hands. You would not have I've been messing up pipes all over the place. You would have fired me probably. You were a teacher? Oh my goodness. Thank you for your service. How long did you teach? You've got to pull these clients in, engage, build rapport, and then move forward. Right? But if we're just order taking, cherry picking, hello, do you want some insurance? You don't? Thank you. It's not going to cut it. Hello, do you want some insurance? Okay, well, here's my name and number. Go ahead and jot this down. If you ever want some insurance, give me a call. Not going to cut it. Got to engage. Got to cherish these calls. Cherish these calls. How do you know you got it right? You know you got it right when you're closing at least 20% of the people you actually engage in conversation. Right? So in other words, you're going to have people that hang up on you, can't stop that. Dial, some people don't pick up, can't stop that. But now when you actually are doing PECs, you want to close at least 20% of the people that you're talking to. So number one, you want to engage so that you can do PECs. And of course, a pre-enrollment conversation stands for an explanation of our entire benefits, an explanation of our entire program and benefits from beginning to end in the presence of all relevant decision makers, to which you receive a yes or no to your offer of insurance and your request for referrals. So you want to make sure that you are talking to the right person, have a whole conversation with them, get buy-in, get a decision. But now if you start going 1 out of 10, whew, that's a danger zone. I mean, that's a whole lot of conversations that you have to have before you're making one single sale. If you start going 1 out of 15, ooh, now you really got to talk to a whole lot of people before you have a compensated conversation. And some of us find ourselves 1 out of 16, 1 out of 17. Now that'll make you feel like you're working to death. Right? When it takes you 16 conversations to get one sale, you're working a lot harder than you should. And what it is, it's a clue. Okay, there's some stuff I'm not using here. There's some stuff I'm not using. Because there's some folks that are in the Ultimate Challenge and they don't. Their conversion rate is way higher. And it's like James was talking about, you can't compare your day one to their, decade one. But what we do have to look at is, are we getting progressively better every day, every week, every month, every year, like some of these heavy hitters. And the way that you get progressively better is when we're having conversations like the one we're having today. You have to actually put the things in play, in practice that we're talking about. If you don't, you're just the same agent. Day after day, week after week. That means whatever your check is, I hope you like it, because that check is going to look pretty much the same for the rest of your career for however long it lasts. Because your commission check is the report card for how coachable you are. Does that make sense? If you're not coachable, if you don't put these things in play, if you're not getting better, you can't earn more until you learn more. But learning is an active exercise. It takes work. It would be great if you could learn by osmosis. Just be around. Somebody come up, do a Vulcan mind meld. You don't have to do any work. But there's reading involved. There's video watching involved. There's practice involved. There's things that you're hearing today like, you know what? I'm going to actually do this. If you don't, there's a price to pay. There's a consequence. And the consequence is you're robbing yourself of compensation. So my word of encouragement to you is don't come to these meetings and just be entertained. Oh, they tell funny jokes at this meeting. Don't come and just be educated. Oh, I learned some stuff. Come to these meetings and be activated. Put the things that you learn into action. And then you'll start to see yourself at the top of the leaderboard on a daily basis. Then you'll start to see yourself at the top of the newsletter on a weekly and monthly basis. Then you'll start to see yourself at the top of the President's Challenge qualifiers on an annual basis. Then next thing you know, stuff starts getting paid off. And that's how you become debt-free at an accelerated pace, because your commission check is commensurate to your application of knowledge and information. If you learn it and use it, you'll make more money. People are in my initial class and they'll often say to me, well, how much money can I make? If I join SLS, how much money can I make? And I always have to be kind of, when I answer that question, like, I don't know, because I don't know who you are. I don't know if you're hard-headed or if you listen. I don't know if you're coachable. I don't know if you have a good work ethic. But if you are a good listener, good doer, and you're willing to put the work ethic in, you're going to make a lot of money. $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a week, especially if you're collecting, right in the right business with Social Security billing. But the opposite is true. If you're not a good listener and you're not a good doer, you could really have a roller coaster ride of income. So I don't want anybody on a roller coaster. You don't want to be on a roller coaster. What you want to do is use the back half of this week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and either enhance the check that you've already built with the sales you've made Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or in some cases, rescue your week. All right. Some of you don't have any sales up to this point. That's okay. You still got plenty of time to make it. We saw all those $5,000, $6,000 days. So bang, bang. You could have a $6,000 Thursday and a $7,000 Friday and be off to the races. But none of that's going to happen unless you dial fast to give yourself a lot of opportunities, downshift, and cherish the call when you actually get somebody on the line, build rapport, follow the steps that are outlined in the PEC so that you can get people talking, continue to follow the PEC, all of it, so that your conversion rate is high, so that you can win the most important contest of them all, which is your commission check. So we're going to let you go over to your team huddles and plot your course of how you're going to take over the world. Some of you are going to pick teams when you get over there. Some of you are going to, get motivated with some training. Everybody who's within the sound of my voice, I highly recommend that you come hang out tomorrow. There will be a reminder in your GroupMe threads. Tomorrow is an important meeting and a fun meeting. So make sure that you come hang out with us tomorrow morning. Important stuff. And if you are a coach, make sure you get your team here as well. All right, we're going to wrap this call up with a reminder. We make excuses. Only results count. Like I say, the more you believe, the more you believe, the more you sell. It's time now to go to your VCCs. When you go to your VCC, make sure that you stay there, make some phone calls. SLS Sales Academy. When you leave SLS Sales Academy, make sure you go to your VCCs. Don't run, don't hide, don't be scared. Make phone calls. All right. If you're nervous about making phone calls, good. That means you care about your craft, but you're not going to get nervous. You're not going to get less nervous till you make more calls. So don't duck and hide. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
No excuses, only results count.
Results
Excuses,
count.
only results
Let's
count.
go, SLF family.
Yeah.
No excuses, only results
Go
count.
Thank you.